Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for being here. Welcome. You can be so proud to be doing something for yourself and for your personal development. I truly honor you. I promise to deliver a lot of value in a short amount of time, and everything I will talk about today is completely actionable. So it'll help you progress and improve your life and well-being. This workshop will probably go too fast for you to reflect, to answer the questions, to finish the activities. It is designed that way for people to go at their own rhythm. So please feel free to just pause the recording whenever you need to and watch it again if you need to. And you can also ask for my support whenever you need. Before I go any further, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I am meeting you today, the Gimoy Walubara, Yidinji, and Yaraganji people of what we call Cairns here, the Cairns region. Absolutely magnificent day today again. This workshop series is 6 sessions. This one is the last one. So thank you to everyone who's watched the 5 other ones. If you haven't, I do recommend that you go back and you do them in order because they somewhat are a progression and it builds up on the knowledge of each of the other sessions, what I do. They're approximately 30 minutes in length and they're bite-sized insights into how to improve your health and well-being with activities that you can do as well, like self-coaching. They are essentially my coaching packages, but in a nutshell. I recommend you have a pen and notebook next to you as you're doing these workshops, or maybe a laptop open with a Word document, whatever you prefer, just to take notes, to be able to practice. And sometimes you think, oh, that's easy, that question, that's really easy. But you start writing it down and you get so much deeper. So do make that a practice of actually writing down your answers. Very powerful. If you want more information on what the services I provide and what I do, who I am, you can just visit my website, sophieanderson.au. If you are finding this video or my workshop series helpful, please like my videos and subscribe to my channel. I am putting more and more content online, and I do appreciate also your comments. Let me know in the comments where you found this training and what you're hoping to get out of it. So today's session outcome, session number 6, is for you to understand the science of habit formation. So we'll talk about the approach of Charles Duhigg and James Clear. And also, I would like you to pick one new healthy habit that you would like to implement in your life. And I will help you design how you're actually going to implement it and how you're going to be able to maintain it in the long term. All right. So what's really important to know is that habits are actually unconscious. So they run basically without your knowledge on autopilot. So it's very important to bring them back to your conscious mind, which means you notice them and you realize that they're a habit, and then that you change them into a ritual, which is designed on purpose. And I'll clarify all of this, but ultimately what you have to remember is that sometimes it's really hard to write down what all our habits are. But it is very helpful if you ask maybe someone you know very well, or if you work with a coach, you'll extract all those habits. Habits are what we do day after day. They form what we are, how we run our days. So think about morning routine or morning habits, how you wash yourself, probably exactly the same way, head to toe or toe to head, every time. These are habits. They run unconsciously. So I'll give you a personal example of a habit that I brought from the unconscious to the conscious mind. I used to drink as a habit, mostly wine, but alcohol. So if I'd have a tough day, or if I was really stressed, or something happened to a friend, I was sad, if I was bored, or if I'd done something really good and I wanted to reward myself, then I'd go to drinking. So for me, it was a form of self-care, but I realized that it had a negative impact in my life. So it was a bad habit. And I do this because a habit, just like a self-care method, can be good for someone and serving them, and can be bad for someone else. Okay. So for me, drinking was a bad habit. What kickstarted everything for me was to realize that I could do something else when I was stressed, when I was bored, when I wanted to reward myself without the negative impact. Okay. So I have designed other routines, which we're going to talk about today, but new habits and new rituals that still help me cope with stress, with a crappy day, with bad news and things like that. So I would like you to start thinking of a bad habit for you. So think of something you do, maybe every day, maybe every week, and that has a negative impact on your life. Okay. It has a negative impact on your health, on your well-being, maybe on your relationships. So I'll give you a few examples. But you're welcome to pause the recording if you just want to think and you don't want to hear me list a whole lot of things. Do you eat your emotions? Do you do emotional eating? Do you scroll a lot? Do you check your phone constantly? Do you take naps when you're upset or when things get too complicated? Do you work nonstop? Do you tend to isolate yourself when you're stressed or bored or when things happen in your life? Do you bite your nails? Do you tend to say yes and to overcommit? These could all be based in habits. Think of things that you're like, oh, it just runs in the family, right? It's something we all do it. It's just the way I am, or it's a habit. It's a habit, biting your nails or smoking. Think of those things. If you have a habit of taking the same way to work every day, or when you come back to work, you stop at a junk food chain to get a burger or an ice cream. These are habits, okay? I want you to pick something that you actually want to change. Doesn't matter right now that you don't know how and you're not sure that you can, but pick something that you want to change, something that impacts your health or your well-being negatively. So if you need to now, pause the recording and pick one, okay? You can write heaps just to get them out of your mind, but then pick one that you want to work on for this workshop. So the next step of the workshop will be just to talk a little bit about the theory behind, or the research behind changing our habits. So research has shown that understanding our habit loops and working with the habit loops and redesigning our habits, and also working with James Clear's 4 laws of behavior change, it will significantly increase your likelihood of sustaining your new habit. So Charles Duhigg, he wrote the book Habits. I can't see the full title. It's on my shelf. Charles Duhigg. He wrote a book about the habit loop. The habit loop is this one. You might want to write it down. Cue, routine, reward. Cue, routine, reward. The cue is the trigger. What happens just before you do the thing or you don't do the thing, just before the habit? It's Monday? Is it your alarm goes off? So usually the cue is neutral. There's a staff meeting, someone comes into your office, you walk back into your home after a big day at work, you're tired, your mom calls. What's the cue? Okay, what's the trigger to that habit? There might be several cues. Okay, just write them down. What's the actual habit? Okay, the routine is the habit, is the action that you take, and the reward is the payoff. Now you might say, but that's a bad habit, there's no reward. There is an underlying reward. So for example, when I was drinking wine, the reward was, well, I was not bored anymore, or I was relaxed, or I felt like I had mummy time. Okay, I had time to myself. So these are the rewards. And just be super honest and compassionate with yourself. We find rewards in our bad habits. That's why they're hard to break. So just write them down. Again, just don't just think about that. Actually write it down. Super powerful. And just a note, and you might want to pause to draft your cue, routine, reward. Just a very quick note that if you have several cues that trigger the same habit, for example, you're a nail biter and you know that you bite your nails when you're stuck in traffic, when you're bored, when you're the day before a big meeting. Just write all the cues, but know that for each of these cues, you will have a different loop. Okay, so the routine might have to change a little bit. So once you have identified the cue, routine, habit that you want to work on today, I want you to start having a think of the new routine, okay, the new habit. And I will help you design your new habit loop. The cue stays the same. The reward stays the same. So this is how we're going to make sure our brain is still satisfied and we're not trying to defy life. Okay, the cue is the same. You will still have people coming into your office. You will still have crappy days. You will still have that person call you. The alarm will still go on. Mondays will keep coming. The cue stays the same, and the reward has to stay the same. Now, what we want to do is design a new habit. Okay, so for example, I'll give you a few examples. The cue is I'm bored in traffic. I bite my nails and it gives me a sense of relief. The cue is I'm stuck in traffic. The new routine, a new habit is I play with a fidget. Okay. Or I take 3 big breaths while I keep my hand away and I feel a sense of relief. Maybe people coming into your office at work and your routine is just agreeing and saying yes to what they're asking you, solving their problem, taking it on board. And the reward is they get out of your office and you feel helpful. And the new routine for this, the person pops in, could be, I'll think about it, or can you pop that in an email, or can I ask you some more questions about this project? And then the reward is still, you felt like you listened to them, they still go away, and you felt like you've helped them. You haven't just turned them around, pushed them away, right? So I'll give you one more example, but as always, you feel free to pause if you just want to reflect on your own situation. If the cue is it's the end of the work day and you're starving, the routine is stop and get a burger, and the reward is feeling full. You're hungry at the end of the day. The new routine could be to have a snack, like a prepared snack in the car, or it could be to take a different way home where you don't go past that food chain, and to have a snack at home instead when you get home. And the reward is still, you'll still feel full. Okay, so you see how we're keeping the cue and the reward the same, but we're designing something else that we're going to do to satisfy this. So pause the recording, have a look, keep your cue, your reward, and then just brainstorm. Right? You're not committing to anything right now. I'm going to give you more cues on how to pick the right routine, but just write all the ideas that you might have. The next step in habit design is to grab this new routine and to make sure that it fits in with the 4 laws of behavior change. Okay, the 4 laws of behavior change, they were in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. If you haven't read it, do it. It's really good, really easy, and there's heaps of online resources as well. The 4 laws are this one, and you might want to write them down. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Okay, so they're pretty self-explanatory. If your new routine, you want to look at it. So if your new routine, let's get back to the example of biting your nails in traffic, and now we want to play with the fidget instead and still feel like done something with our fingers. Make it obvious. You want to have the fidget in the car. Okay, make it attractive, and you want to make it fun to play with, for example. Make it easy. It's accessible. It's in the car. Maybe there's 2 in case you can't find one. And maybe there's a little note on the dashboard or on the steering wheel that goes fidget or whatever, like a little happy face that you realize when you're biting your nails, you see the little thing and you grab the fidget, whatever. Okay, make it easy for yourself to remember. And satisfying, well, that's the reward part. You want to make sure that it it does give you the rewards still. Okay, so any routine that you pick, you want to design it so that it fits these four. So if you're not sure, I invite you to write it in the comment. If you're like, I can't think of a routine that fits these four criteria, please feel free to ask me. Now, please pause the recording and cross-check with some of your routine ideas and make sure that it fits with the four. And then when you look at the cue, the new routine and the reward, you're like, yeah, that works for me. Okay. So now that you've got this new habit loop and your new routine is well thought out, what I invite you to do is write it down. Well, some of you will be like, oh, I knew she was going to say that, but you write it down and post it on walls. Tell people who love you. Tell them you're implementing this thing. And the last thing that I invite you to do is to sit quietly, with your feet on the ground and your eyes shut, not when you're driving, and imagine yourself doing the new routine. Imagine yourself doing it. Okay? Imagine yourself succeeding at this thing and how amazing, like how it's going to positively influence your health, your well-being, your relationships. I want you to get excited about it. If it's not working, go back to the video, design a new one, design a new routine. Habit change shouldn't be hard. It should be super inspiring. Okay? If you're white knuckling it, you've missed one of the steps, and I'd love to support you. So just please let me know. So stay in touch. My website is sophieanderson.au. I'm on LinkedIn as well and on Facebook. So all the best, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any special requests for further webinars, please let me know.